Destructive. Why don't more millionaires own one Bitcoin yet? That's a great question, because we've kind of talked about the fact that you have to realize that there's a difference in the wealth gap right now. And the people who are in those positions, like millionaires, billionaires, they have a lot more to lose. They like playing by the rules, because if they step out of line anywhere, their whole fortune is at stake. Versus somebody like me, who's fairly young. I'm getting kind of old, but fairly young. I don't have a ton of assets. I'm not a millionaire, and if I can afford to do that, I can afford to go all in on Bitcoin, because what's the worst thing that happens? I go back to zero and have to start again. That's the worst thing. So you just have to understand that there's a big difference in the risk tolerance of somebody. I wouldn't say I have nothing to lose, obviously, but I have a lot less to lose than somebody who's a millionaire or a billionaire. They have their companies to look after, their family to look after, their estate to look after, and they're busy in that world. There's a reason why they've amassed such an amount of capitals, because they're very focused and very busy in that world. They don't have 6 hours a day to be learning about Bitcoin and watching YouTube in the morning. So it's not that it's not like they've spent a whole bunch of time. And these people, you also have to keep in mind that these people, because that's not their specialty, they're doing their own thing, they're accruing wealth in their business or in their life. They trust people, they trust their financial advisor. And how many financial advisors out there that you can think of are actually telling their clients to look into Bitcoin? So they're just taking the low risk approach. They're thinking that this whole Bitcoin thing is going to just disappear over time, and their wealth, their real estate, their gold, their stocks are just going to keep going up with the inflation. But they're missing it. But don't mistake that for you being wrong about Bitcoin. I think that's the main thing you got to keep in mind there. It's not like they've spent a whole bunch of time looking into Bitcoin and they're like, it's not for me. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just going to stay over here and with the US treasuries instead. No, that's not the case at all. They haven't spent any sort of time looking into Bitcoin, but I do think that they should all have one Bitcoin. Hey, Arnie's here. Hi, buddy. He did his laps. He made sure he did his 5 or 6 laps around the house, around the perimeter, making sure everything's safe here. Call him the warden of the house. So he can relax a little bit now. But I agree with you here. I think that every millionaire should have at least one Bitcoin, because if you got $1 million, one Bitcoin would be what? A fraction of your portfolio, less than 10% of your portfolio. And it'll come. Don't mistake that either for that they're not going to be here one day. They will be. They'll just have a lot less Bitcoin than you probably, which is the crazy thing. And that's why the whole leveraging your future is the people who are holding Bitcoin today. Even though those people, the millionaires, the billionaires, they have all the leverage right now, it's going to flip. Everything's going to be flipped on its head. And the people who are the last people to figure that out are going to be in a much different position once that happens. Are they going to be able to get some? For sure. But are they going to have the same amount of influence, power that they have today? Not even close. Not even close.